Hi. Ooh, this feels a bit loud on my end. Hold on. Hi. How's it going? Happy Sunday. I'm very happy to be here with you all. I just wanted to do a little like casual Sunday moment, you know? I just wanted to stream. It's been a minute since I last streamed. And I've been, funny enough, overthinking quite a lot. I think it's just a thing for me unless I eventually get some sort of counseling or anything like that with ADHD or something like that. Hi, it's good to see you. How do I pronounce your name? I would love to know how to pronounce your name. But yeah, I it's funny because I've made I made a short moment being like, oh, I'm in my underthinking era, and I'm very much not in that era. Hey Thomas, how's it going? Good to see you again. So yeah, I just wanted to say hi, and I just wanted to like have a little casual chit chat type of situation. We could get into some games, we could just literally hang out. And yeah, I just wanted to say hi. And chill and hang out and spend my afternoon with y'all. Well, it's late afternoon. It's like 6:30. but still, you know. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I actually earlier today just beat, like maybe an hour ago, I beat Shining Force 2. I was just playing on my own. And I don't know, I like playing games by myself, like outside of streaming and all that stuff. But there is something like it's almost like I want to share my experience, but at the same time it's like, because I'm not actively showing it or like recording it in any way, I'm kind of like, do I just like talk about it? Do I just film a video about it and then I just get footage that I didn't record while I was playing because it was just kind of a casual thing? Or I also literally don't have to do anything about it. So there's also that. There's also that's also a thing, right? But yeah, I'm doing okay. Oh my god, it's 12:27. Where in the world are you? You don't have to get specific, obviously, for safety concerns. But yeah, that's quite a juicy time difference. That's like 6 hours roughly. So you must be Central time zone? US Central? That sounds about right. I know East Coast is like 5 hours behind me. Yeah. So that sounds about right. Cause I think West Coast is like 8 hours behind me. But it's easy to memorize the 5 hours, you know, for East Coast. So safe assumption there with Central America. But yeah, you're just getting your day started. Damn. I hope well, 12:30. It's not, you know, depending on who you ask. I guess that's getting the day started. But I hope you have a lovely day ahead of you. Do you have anything planned, or are you just gonna be chilling? 10:38 or 28, excuse me, right now. Oh yeah, so you're a couple hours. Wait, no. 6:30, so 7, 8, 9. That's like 4 hours. That's a big time difference. Multiple time zones in America. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I just assumed. I just threw it out. I just knew because I knew 5 hours was East Coast, so I assumed Central would be around 6 hours. I know there's a few others as well. There's Mountain Time, there's Pacific, there's a bunch of other times. I've over my years here on YouTube and on Twitch, I used to do podcasting quite a bit, so I would have like a lot of people from different parts of the US and Europe and stuff like that. Hi Lynn, good to see you. So I'm used to dealing with people from different time zones, so I've grown a bit acquainted with like different time zones and like having like that conversion that you have to do in your head of like, okay, they're 5 hours behind me roughly, so they should be around 6 hours. It's like a whole thing. So it's good to see you. It's good to see y'all. How's it going, Lynn? Good to see you. Just doing a little casual stream today. Potentially not gonna play any games or anything. Just wanted to do a little chit chat, a little casual hangout. You know what it is? Like, I think since I changed gears to YouTube, I feel like I've been feeling like everything that I do here has to be like a thing, like it has to be a stream that can easily exist as a video or like anything like that. When it's like I can just have these like streams where I don't really have anything planned per se, and I just kind of do whatever, and I can always just like take little moments and edit them into like standalone videos or download them and turn a little clip into a short or something like that. Like, not everything has to like necessarily be a thing, I guess. Which I know it's a little obvious, right? But you know. Just gonna go to Five Guys today. We don't have a Five Guys here. I think Five Guys is a thing in Europe, but we don't have it here. Is that your favorite place to? Is that your is that your favorite fast food place, like a burger place? Crap ton of cheese. Love that. I can't have too much cheese, unfortunately. I once got a migraine because I ate a dish that had like too much cheese, and that's a true story. Ooh, the aquarium. Damn, you have like a whole ass day. Like, you have a date, you have a movie, you're gonna see the penguin. Damn. You have a lot going on. Good for you. I don't think I've ever seen penguins. I don't think I wonder, we do have like aquariums here. Or at least I know of a big one in Lisbon. I've never been, but I know of it. But I don't know if they have penguins. That would be really fierce. I think penguins are so adorable. They're like, the way that they just like waddle. They're cute. You're a busy man. Clearly. Damn, I don't have half. I feel like I don't do like half of that in like a week. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't do all that in a week. By the way, this is my actual room, y'all. I cleaned it. I cleaned it yesterday. So you actually are seeing my regular ass room. Outside of like the whole like pixel art stuff that I typically have. I like to show a little bit of range, you know? I like to show a bit of range. I don't think they do here. Because I don't think it's ever like that cold here. Maybe, I'm assuming, so that I don't know. Maybe there are places here that have penguins, but I don't know of any. Not off the top of my head, at least. I haven't been to like a zoo type of moment in a minute. I really haven't. Like in a long while. But yeah. I don't mind a zoo moment. I think it really depends on the place. Like I like the type of places where it's like it's more of like a sanctuary type of thing. It's more of like they're taking care of, like, you know, particular species, and they're making sure that they don't go extinct and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a while. It's been probably maybe like at least roughly around, maybe not 10 years, but like around that, surely. Oh, the Midwest does get cold. Yeah, I mean, over here, like, it gets cold, especially because I think the way that our homes were built, not every it's like not very well insulated necessarily, so a lot of homes end up being quite cold, like indoors, like when it's winter. But it really depends on where you go, but there's only like a few areas where it like actually like snows or anything like that. But it does get pretty cold at times. Although, you know, as of recently, due to global warming, I feel like this past winter I didn't even like it didn't get as bad as like I feel like I've experienced before. And I feel like the summers are gradually getting worse, so that's not fun. But yeah, that's a juicy day. I typically don't have my days that much, like, I don't have that much going on. The other day I went I went with Mama Ruby to the dentist because she had an appointment early, and we like going with each other because it's like nobody likes going to the dentist, so, you know, we kind of keep each other company. So it's almost like, you know, it gives you a little bit of not necessarily motivation, but it's like, you know, just having there's like a word for it. It's almost like a buddy system type of thing, where like when you go to someone to, like, you know, get stuff done or to like do errands or anything like that, it makes it easier for both parties, you know what I mean? So we went pretty early, so we ended up making a little bit of a day out of it. So we went to like a bakery nearby, the dentist office, and then we got on the metro and we went to like a shopping center type of thing. And I was hunting for some clothes, and then I found some really cute shoes. They're kind of like, they're kind of like dress shoes, but like they have a little bit of like, not really a platform. It's hard to explain. And it was a really good deal, but they didn't have my size, so I had to order online. But thankfully it's like a summer sale type of thing, so I got these shoes that are typically like 60 or 70 euro, and I got them for like, I think like 20 or 25 or something like that. So I was like, now that's juicy. So yeah, they arrive soon, I think Tuesday. How much snow? Not where I live. Where I live specifically, we never get snow. But we get snow like in the mountains, you know, like in the mountainous areas, in like the yeah, in the mountainous areas, you know. I'm more towards like the oceany section. So because of that, we never get like snow cold, but it gets pretty cold. Just not like, it's not too bad. You're just trying to exist as a person. Don't worry about it. You're gonna put cheese away and you almost put it in the freezer. Oh my god. It's one of those days, huh? It's one of those days. I hope you have a good day. Hope you have a lovely day, in fact. So yeah, and I ended up coming home exhausted from that because I think we ended up being out of the house for like a very long time that day. So it wasn't like, it was fun at, in the particular moment, but it wasn't fun afterwards. But it was nice. Although I will say I don't love, like, clothes shopping is one thing, but like trying on clothes and doing all of that is a really like humbling and also like annoying and almost like intense experience. I don't know if other people feel this way whenever they go clothes shopping, but I feel like over the last few years I've started to dislike it more and more and more, because it's always like those dressing rooms are always like so crammed that there's like 1,000 mirrors, and I feel like none of them are in any way, shape, or form flattering. And then it's like, and then it gets warm, and then it's like a whole thing with like, you want to get like a pair of jeans, so you have to take off your shoes, you have to like, undo the, you have to retie your shoes. It's like a whole thing. And then the pants don't fit you, and then you have to, and then because it's like sale season, they don't have your size, and it's like a whole thing. Like, I hate it. Like, I don't love like trying on clothes and all that stuff. And I also feel see you soon, Thomas. I also feel as though a lot of clothing stores have like a very particular body type in mind, because I've went from like a small medium to like a medium large over the last few years. And it just feels like not everything is like, like you see all the mannequins and they're all like, sizes like extra small, and you know what I mean? And it just makes you feel inadequate. It just makes you feel like the clothes aren't made. Like you wear them, and like sometimes an outfit looks good on like the mannequin or like online or whatever, and then you put it on, you're like, oh, I don't know about this, so it's like it's definitely a self-esteem, it's a trying time for your self-esteem, I suppose. If you're not like that conventional body type, if you're not basically a model, it just always makes you feel like inadequate, you know what I mean? Or at least that's how I've been feeling over the last few years. Oh, I just said see you soon because I thought you said like I'll be back or something like that, like you'll be right back kind of thing. You genuinely cannot remember the last time you shopped for clothes in a store. I like buying things online. My main thing is like, sometimes something may look good online, but I need to know about the texture of the the fabric. You know what I mean? So I need to like touch it before like I even try it on. But I guess it's one of those things where you can literally order, and then you can just like, if you hate it, you can just like return it or something like that. So that's always an option. So I could be like at the comfort of my own home and do that. I mean, it is 2023, so it would make sense to do a little bit more of like an online situation. I feel like I need to do that more for sure. I mean, even with like different sizes and stuff like that, it's probably for the best to do online, because then it's like they typically, in person they don't have that many things. It's like, oh, that shirt is cute, and then they only have like whatever couple sizes are left, and you're like, oh, work. Just buy from places that accept returns. Yeah, right. Yeah, I get you. It's just, I would assume it's just easier to do that, and you don't have to deal with like the whole situation of going to the store and the whole thing. Okay, so the biggest thing though was, I typically would have done this online, but Primark doesn't sell online, and I really wanted a Barbie set. Like they had like a shirt and shorts like set that like was like it was like an 80s like pink with it was like a print type of situation. It's like inspired by like a particular set that they wear in the upcoming Barbie movie. So I went to Primark specifically for that, and they didn't have it. They didn't even have a Barbie section in like the men's section of the store. So I was like, oh, well, they did have Barbie stuff in the women's section, but even in the women's section, they didn't have the particular set that I was looking for. So there's that. You can't find anything that fits you since you're 6'4". You're very tall. You have so many excesses. Otherwise, it's a belly shirt and pants don't really fit, so I just wear stuff I already own. Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, over the last few years, I've been gaining weight, and I feel like I've been less physically active, and stuff like that. So I definitely do need. I've been slowly but surely buying new clothes, because a lot of my old stuff just like fully doesn't fit anymore. So I just slowly but surely try to get new items. Like I just got new shoes, and for the first time in very, very long, because the shoes I've been wearing, they're literally at their like last last capacity. They're like ripping and all that stuff. So stores around you, it's only old lady clothes. They don't carry your size. Yeah, it's a very particular experience, I feel, shopping whenever you're not like a particular size or body type, because then it's just like they either don't have the same stuff in all sizes, or they have like weird stuff, or like ugly. It's like it gets uglier the bigger, like it's like we're size inclusive, but then like the bigger stuff is like uglier, and you're like, well, that doesn't help me, does it? You had already forgotten this movie would be released soon. I am so excited. I am so excited. It's literally coming in 2 weeks, and I'm very excited. Speed Drive is currently your life. You legit listen to it several times. Speed Drive. This song is very quiet. Am I forgetting Speed Drive? Is that? Oh, I haven't listened to anything from the soundtrack yet. I should. I mean, I feel like if I haven't so far, I might as well just wait and just watch the movie and be surprised. Don't even get me started on shoes. I literally, for the shoes that I just got, I bought the biggest size that they had because it's like dress shoey. I actually found the term for it. They're leather track sole shoes, so it's like they're almost like kind of like a leather derby shoe moment, but they have like almost like a sneaker-y like sole. It's hard to explain. It's very K-poppy. I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I've seen like idols wear this and it's really cute. So yeah, those are typically like quite like hard and just like kind of uncomfortable. So I was like, no, I need like I don't need this to be like exactly the size of my foot, or else this is gonna hurt real bad. So yeah, not the ugly floral trash bag, not that. Not that. Yeah. Yeah, shoe sizes can be very tricky because I feel like stores only carry a certain amount of like either the smallest or the biggest sizes, and they have like, you know, which you can tell whenever there's a sale type of moment. You only see like, you know, the sizes that are kind of in the middle, or the sizes that are potentially more popular because, you know, they had like a bigger amount of inventory for those. So yeah, I kind of want to get into a store that's more like non-binary friendly type of thing. The thing is, I've tried, and some places that are like non-binary, some of their stuff is just like straight up ugly. You know what I mean? It's like they have this idea of like what androgyny is, and so some of the stuff is just like plain ugly. Like it's just full on uglina, and that's not cute. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But yeah, love clothing shopping. So yeah. Recently I've been trying to get a little inspired because I feel like I've been feeling pretty meh about a lot of things. Like, you know, my room, some stuff that I would like to change about it, and my wardrobe. Just, you know, I kind of tweeted it as a like jokey type of thing. But I was like, I want like a glow up for my whole life type of thing. So, you know, I've been trying to take like actionable steps, with like, you know, working with what I have, or doing small little upgrades and stuff like that to see if I get a little inspired, or if I just change it up a little bit and I don't just kind of stay in like that funk type of like, you know, mindset. A lot of places have ugly clothes. Yes, for sure. I think it's interesting. It's almost like a study on like what cis hetero men wear. Like there are some stores where you're like, yeah, at least let me speak for myself, where I'm just like, yeah, this is not for me. Like this is not the clothes that are aimed for people like me. Like there are a couple places I think, like Primark, I think um I think Berska here. I don't know how to pronounce it. I just say Berska. Um they typically have like they have stuff for the girls, you know what I mean? Like I've noticed a couple instances where I was like, this is cute, but I feel like I would get hate crimed if I wore this, like genuinely, because sometimes people just fully stare, because I'm kind of tall. Like I'm not like super tall. I feel like I'm like 5'10", 5'11", something like that. 180 centimeters. So, but yeah, but I have like the long hair, and I feel like I could be, sometimes I'm literally just like wearing a mask, and because I have my long hair and I'm typically, and wearing the mask, I feel like sometimes people just literally look at me and stare at me for a bit, just for me existing. Like sometimes I'm literally just like wearing a t-shirt and jeans and like regular sneakers, and people just like fully just like stare, and it's like I'm just literally existing. But whatever. And that would happen quite a bit, like before the pandemic. That would happen quite a bit whenever I would dye my hair. Like I had blonde hair for a minute. I had red. I've had a couple different colors, and the staring on that one was also quite a bit to deal with, because I think with stuff like that, it can. I remember my mom didn't notice this, but there was a store where we entered, and there were a couple like dude bros. They were probably a bit younger than me. They were probably in their early 20s, and I'm in my late 20s, which is irrelevant, I guess, but I'm just describing the scene. And I entered, and one of them just this is how I felt. It could have just like literally not been at all what happened, but what I interpreted was that one of them was like looking at clothes, and the other, as I was entering the store, he looked at me and he was like, like Portuguese people are very expressive, especially in the northern parts of the country. So he gave like a little like and I kind of saw him turn to the other dude that was with him, and he also did had a similar vocal like expression, I suppose, and they just kind of scattered somewhere else. And I was just like, I just literally thought I thought to myself, like, did that just literally happen, or am I, because sometimes I feel like it's like anxiety type of thing, so I'm just like paranoid, or I'm like, I feel like I'm being, judged or laughed at or whatever. And that could just be a thing from like my younger years, and that actually being a thing. And then, maybe it carries on over to me as an adult, where sometimes I'm just like, are they making fun of me? Is this like a thing? Am I being judged right now? So it could have been a situation that like maybe they were just, it had nothing to do with me, but it felt like it was targeted at me. So that's not fun. That's not fun either. But yeah, so whenever people, especially over here, I feel like it's so easy for people to just be like, oh yeah, Portugal is like super safe. They feel like LGBT and like all that stuff. And I feel like people who say that are either not queer, or they are from like other countries, and they come here to visit and they happen to have like a good time, or they don't understand, maybe some comments are being made. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, your experience is definitely not universal. You know what I mean? But so it's difficult to find like a balance between, like, you know, self-expression but also safety, and that almost ends up being a thing where you, like, at least for me, where I almost don't, it's not that I don't necessarily develop my identity, but it's almost like I don't really develop a very specific sense of style, because I know what I like. I mean, I know mainly what I don't like. You know, when I pick something up, I'm like, I don't like this. But it's harder for me to necessarily have a thing where, like, oh yeah, that outfit, I'm totally gonna wear this, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be iconic. Because a lot of my thought process, not a lot of it, but like it's almost a half and half. It's like half of it is like, oh, this looks cute, and the other half is like, maybe I shouldn't wear this in public. And sometimes literally the thought process is like, I could wear this like on stream, and I wouldn't, you know, I would be safe. I could wear this on stream and it would be fine. And I hate that we even have to think about that, you know what I mean? Yeah. I get that. I feel like I'm kind of tall here, but I know that in the US that I feel like that would be kind of average. Y'all are just like bigger people. Like, y'all are super tall. This is a generalization, but like, you know, y'all are just taller. Y'all are just like, you know, I feel like it's very American to like take up space and to just like be proud, and not necessarily, be proud for better or worse, I guess. You know, the Proud Boys of it all. But yeah. Hey Koga, good to see you. You're 5'8". 5'8" is just as good. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard for me to say like 5'8". Oh yeah, I know exactly what that looks like, because, you know, we use like centimeters. But yeah, maybe not super tall. You know, I'm not someone who really cares about height like that. Like, there's some people who are like, I think that might be a thing amongst like male heavy spaces, like, you know, the G and LGBT, you know what I mean, like the gay community specifically. I feel like almost has a little bit of like they almost have like a complex with like height, you know what I mean, that like they have like this whole thing where like I notice a lot of gays specifically that will like list their like height and their weight as like a thing in their bio for like when in a dating app type of thing, and I'm like, damn, like you're literally just like defined by like what your body type is, you know, or your height or whatever. And some men are like very insecure about that kind of stuff. Like, they're just like, you know, if they don't mention it, they're probably like shorter, but like they're probably not even that short, and even if they are, like, it really doesn't matter that much. So it's like, or at all. It's, I don't know. It's interesting how that entire situation works with like men and height and everything that comes into it. And I guess it's, but even when I was gonna say, like, I guess I wouldn't really know, because I, one, don't really identify as male, but I'm also kind of a taller person, so, but I don't know, but even before I grew like tall, like I never necessarily had in mind that like, oh, I want to be super tall or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I never really had any of that in mind. It's scary out there, yeah. You almost miss how it was like 10 years ago when you would present mask you would get read as a fruity guy or a butch lesbian, but now people know what they're looking at. Like now I'd be scared to present math because people actually know that trans people are a thing. Right. Right. Yeah. It was very validating the other day to see there was like the news covered like a pride parade that took place, and it was very validating. Unfortunately, not for very good reasons. That some people were like, yeah, I get discriminated, like I can't find work because of the way that I dress, the way that I express myself, and people talking about, you know, experiences that basically of like either themselves or like people that they are friends or family members of that get like hate crimed and whatever. And I'm like, yeah, like it's not as safe as people sometimes make it out to be. It's like, I think over here especially is weird because I feel like, hi Ramirez, I know, I don't play Skullgirls, no. But over here is weird because I feel like people from outside of Europe see Europe as like progressive, right? So it's like, you know, it's that whole joke of like, oh, is that dude gay or is he just European, right? But I feel like I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily like the Trump effect, but it was like something among those lines because I feel like as of like over the last maybe, I don't want to say 10 years, but maybe the past like probably around the time where Trump got elected, things I feel like for a while were like, you know, people being like, oh, that's awful, and like we need to fight harder as like a queer community and whatever. And then I feel like it's almost like it's almost done like a 180 where I feel like now there's a bunch of people that feel very comfortable, even over here, like being like very right wing, and people and being like racist and being nasty and being like xenophobic and like have this like weird attitude towards like immigrants and towards like the queer community and towards any minority. And it's just, it's weird energy, and it's very difficult to explain because it's not like, I mean, thankfully over here, it's not like you, as far as news coverage or as far as anything that I'm aware of, it's not like it gets, it's like it's not like it's ever like US levels of like horrible, you know, when it comes to like news coverage of things that happen to people. But at the same time, it's almost like there's like not really a looming thing, also because we've started to get like some like extreme right-wing kind of like politicians that managed to get some sort of traction, almost like you know, they're a mini Trump type of situation. So yeah, it's hard to explain, but you know, I feel like there was definitely a domino effect from the Trump election onwards, where like I think in other countries in Europe, like the right wings started to like gain some traction in their like local politics, in like several different countries. Obviously, you know, the Brexit situation with the UK separating, I feel like, you know, it's like a whole domino kind of effect where like the very like right conservative like leaning people have been kind of like feeling more confident and, you know, feeling braver to like just show their nasty attitudes. And it's not, you know, it's not cute, it's not fun. you know? I don't know how we got here, but hey, that's what happens when I just talk and I don't have like, you know, a game to distract me or anything. That's just what happens. For anyone who may be new to my streaming experiences and hasn't watched me on Twitch, this is what my streams are typically like. I just, all of a sudden we're talking about like very particular politics or whatever the topic may be. And trail as much as you could. You have nothing against them. The main thing is what kind of soul. Do you mean like the conversation about like LGBTQIA plus people? Like you don't have anything against the community. You mainly care about like who they are as a person, kind of thing. That like mentality of like I don't judge someone for like their identity, I judge them for their character, is what I'm taking from what you're saying. As a, you know, non-English speaker as like my main language, like I totally understand like the difficulties in translating and like all of that stuff, so you're good. Yeah, I don't know how we got here. So much for a Sunday, as a casual Sunday moment. But yeah, I honestly don't know how to wrap up this conversation, so there's that. So there's that. What have y'all been up to? I recently got. Do y'all want to see some goodies that I got? I was probably gonna do a proper kind of like unboxing type of moment, but I kind of got my first like PR package situation. Do y'all want to see? Hold on, let me get it. So I got a couple things, right? As I'm like gathering them outside of your view. I got a couple things. So the first was actually a little goodie bag. This is unrelated, but yeah, I got a little goodie bag from Sega for partaking in their charity campaigns, either both earlier this year for Game Blast and for this Pride campaign. So they sent me like a keychain, and they I have a similar thing underneath it that's like a magnet. So really cute. So thank you, Sega. Thank you the wonderful folks at Sega for sending me that. And I got my first PR. So I got this from Crispy Creative. They sent a little note and it says, "Incoming transmission. Hello there, Ruby. We received intelligence you covered the demo for a long journey to an uncertain end. We think you're stellar. To celebrate the game launch, we have a gift for you that's out of this world. We hope you enjoyed our demo. We hope you enjoyed your demo playthrough and really hope you love the full game." So they actually sent me a key, even though I did support the game on Kickstarter. So I do have a couple extra keys from the Kickstarter itself. But they also sent me like giveaway keys. They sent me like a key to the actual like full game. And they also sent me some goodies. So I think they're sending me some posters separately that, you know, for mailing issues, it was like a whole thing. But they sent me some postcards with like game art. So really, really cute. They sent me some like really neat art for the game. We're gonna be playing this, by the way. This game is called A Long Journey to an Uncertain End. And we're gonna be playing it. It's like this really interesting like space opera narrative situation where you're like fleeing from your ex, but you also have like, it's like resource management meets like visual novel. It's very, very cool. So I'm definitely gonna stream that. Y'all are gonna see that. They sent me a little spaceship. Look at it with like a little stand. And this is the highlight, okay? They sent me a corgi because one of the characters in the game is a corgi. It's like an AI type of moment. So they sent me like a corgi plushie. Isn't it so cute? It's so adorable. Look at this friend. I'm afraid of putting it on my mic because I don't want it to fall, but it's so cute. So yeah, I got my first PR. Isn't that so fun? So thank you so much to the Crispy Creative team. Shout out to Fern from the PR side of things. From sending me this. I really appreciate it. I'm probably gonna show it again for anyone who may have missed this particular stream. It's so cute. I'm just like staring at it. Whenever I actually play the game, so that, you know, I get to say thank you to them again and all that stuff. But so that was a nice surprise. Yeah, a little corgi friend. So precious. I wish I could have him like hanging out without like falling. But yeah, very, very sweet. Also because I think this was a Kickstarter, like not me petting it as if it's like an actual doggy. He's so cute, so adorable. But yeah, it was my first ever like PR box type of thing. I threw away the box though. It was just a regular box with my address on it, so I didn't want to show it. But yeah, it's so cute. I was very, very honored to receive it. Hopefully the first of many. But yeah, we're probably gonna play the game soon. Not today though. We're gonna play the game this week for sure. I want to stream more. That's one thing that, you know, that I've been realizing is that I'm like, I try to be like, okay, I don't want to stream too much. I don't want my identity to just be streamer, but at the same time I wasn't replacing, you know, streaming with anything else on my off time, so I might as well just like stream, and then when I feel the need to, you know, maybe do literally anything else, I can give myself kind of the permission to do so. I also want to do a thing that I feel like I wasn't very good at towards, especially over, I feel like this past year on Twitch, which is like, I really want to do like full playthroughs of games. Like I'm kind of tired of getting in my head about stuff and just like, you know, I start to play a game, I really enjoy it, but then I'm like, oh, I don't know if people are really liking it, and then I get caught up in the numbers, and then it's a whole thing. So I end up like switching games a lot. So in my VOD channel, there's like so many playthroughs, quote unquote, that I started and never finished. And I kind of want to change that, you know what I mean? Like I really want to have more streams where, like, you know, it's a bit of a longer stream, but I dedicate like a whole afternoon or something like that to like playing a game. And then I've even had ideas of like taking you know, moments from the streams and doing like little highlight reels for the shorts, or almost like a little recap of what happened, so that people can almost like keep up with my playthrough, but like in a 1 minute type of thing, you know what I mean? Just like the the most important things, like the very, very highlights of it all, like how I reacted to certain moments, or whatever. So yeah, I really just wanna do that. And I also, we obviously don't have to just play games, but it's a thing that I'm more comfortable with as well. So that is probably gonna end up happening quite a bit. But yeah, the corgi will protect me from the haters. Yes, the corgi will be here staring at the chat from my desk, protecting me from the hateful comments. So yeah, very, very thankful for that. So thank you to Crispy Creative for that once again. I got the chance to, alongside my friends over at the Just Gaming Things channel, we got to interview the creative director at Crispy Creative. I remember at the time I played the demo on stream and stuff like that. So it was really cool to like see that, acknowledgement in a way of the stuff that we kind of got to do together with them, and my experience with the demo, and me sharing what I thought about it. So yeah, it's very, very cool to see that. So yeah, probably gonna do a little playthrough of this. I don't know how long the game is, but I know it is a long journey to an uncertain end. So, but I don't think it should be like a super, super long stream. So we probably can get it done within like a week or so. So I really want to do that. I really want to do that next, and then from there, I don't know. Maybe we could do polls, or I could just make decisions as I go. To just play some games, because I've literally been just, honestly, when I'm not streaming, recently I've been just like putting on podcasts and just playing like Shining Force. I just beat Shining Force 2, but I kind of played 1 and 2 back to back on my own time. So I've been playing that while I listen to like either podcasts, or I put on like a stream, or a longer YouTube video or something like that. So that's what I've been kind of doing, and I'm like, I'm not recording this, I'm not streaming this, and I don't know if I'll make anything out of this. So it's almost like I probably should make something out of this, you know what I mean? Like I probably should, not necessarily should, but like I can. So it's not a thing that you can, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, oftentimes I think about like what I could be doing, or like what is quote unquote like content. So sometimes I want to just like not stream and just like almost like figure out like what do I really want to do, kind of thing, or what do I want to get into, or anything like that. And I find myself just like naturally gravitating towards things that I don't always like make it into content necessarily. But yeah, if it's stuff that I naturally gravitate towards, it's almost like, why not, Yeah, I've been feeling very unproductive recently. It's been interesting. It's been very interesting, because it's not just that I'm feeling unproductive, it's that I've been pretty unproductive. Like, I haven't really been editing anything. I haven't been streaming that often, or so yeah. I almost get stuck in this like, sometimes it's not even overthinking. Sometimes it's like I want to do something, but I don't know what. And then I just never get to the stage of like figuring it out. I just like, it's like I get stuck. And I'm like, I should do something, but then I never do. And I do have this. The thing is, I've been too stuck to even like open this and try it out. So this is the anti-planner. So this is not a planner at all. This is just like it's a book by Danny Donovan. I hope I said that name right, but it's how to get shit done when you don't feel like it. So it's like it's this like book slash like worksheet. It's not much of a guide necessarily, but it has like all these different sections, like, you know, like this, like, oh, I'm feeling stuck. So they have like a bunch of like oh my god, this is so real as well. Like, too anxious to start on anything, stressed about not getting anything done. It's very real. So, you know, they have a bunch of like different exercises and little things that you can do whenever you're, you know, your perfectionistic tendencies are you know, jumping out, or whenever you're very indecisive or anything like that. But I feel like I've been like too stuck that I haven't even like been like, oh yeah, let me pick this up and try a little exercise or a little worksheet, see if I can get anything done. I'm like, I need to blast my fan because it's very warm in my room right now. Yeah, someone earlier asked, what are my plans after the stream? Today I don't really have too much going on. I don't often have much going on. So after today's stream, I will probably, I'm having dinner. I'm eating some food. Probably, I don't know if today I'm gonna be going on a walk, but honestly, not much. Honestly, not much. I haven't really been watching, besides Drag Race, I haven't really been watching anything. Like a series or even like movies or anything. So I haven't really been watching anything on that front. So it really depends, like if a friend is streaming or if someone is doing something interesting or if someone uploads like a video that I think is cool and fun and interesting. I recently got into this channel called The Golden Bolt, and they had like a little mini series on Sonic, and the cool thing is that that channel here on YouTube, they don't just like do like a review-y type of thing. They do this thing where like they also get into like the development of the game in question, and they talk about that. And it feels very constructive. It doesn't really feel like they ever like dunk on a particular game, because it's so like popular here on YouTube, that style of like, you know, playing horrible games or playing this game so you don't have to, and why this game sucks, you know, just like that type of, I feel like everyone's gotten that type of video recommended in their lives at least once a week. So it's nice to see a game. It's nice to see videos where it's like they're gaming videos and they are opinion based videos, but they're not necessarily like dunking on something or shitting on a particular game, or, you know, talking shit about a game or how bad it is or whatever. Like it's really cool. Like I learned actually so much about like the development of like Sonic Adventure, for example, and how like they had like such a big team for Sonic Adventure, and then for Sonic Adventure 2 they had like 8 people working on it. That's why the game is so different, and why there's like a lot of things changed from one game to another. It's because they literally had they had like 8 people working on it. They were sent to the US to work on it, and then in the meantime, like they had like a whole thing going on with like I think I don't know if it was the president or it must have been someone higher up that had this like very big inclination that like online gaming is going to be the future, so we need to focus all of our energy into Phantasy Star Online and Choo Choo Rocket to like test the online features of the like Dreamcast and all this stuff. Meanwhile, like Sonic Adventure 2 was getting worked on like slowly but surely in the US, and it was very interesting. Long story short, it was very, very interesting to find out like how troubled the development was from like on Sonic Adventure 2, and then they covered like the years after Sonic Adventure 2 with like Sonic Heroes and stuff like that, and like how things were at Sega and the different teams working on it, and different like conversations and interviews happening, and all this stuff. It was really, really cool, and it felt very like informative as well, so I really, really like that. But sometimes honestly I watch those videos and I'm like, oh my god, I could never I could never make a video like this informative or like this polished. And it's not even because I'm not like capable, it's just that I think if I were to do it, it just wouldn't feel like it would feel like me trying to be them or trying to be like them in a way. So yeah. But it's nice. I've also gotten into the I've Had It podcast. Some of you have probably seen little clips and tidbits on like TikTok and social media in general. It's these two ladies from, I forget, but I think they're like middle America, but they're like very progressive, and like their whole thing, like that whole podcast is them talking about the things that they've had it with. So it's very like fun, ranty, but also like they're like very charming and funny. It's like very humorous. When I first saw a clip from it, I was convinced that at least one of them was a comedian, and she's not. She's like an interior designer, but it's just like little petty grievances and just like little things. The way that they kind of describe it is like, this is a way to avoid like homicide. Like the way that they go about it is like, you know, they can go into the world being like lovely human beings, and then that's like a corner of like their lives or like the internet where they can like rant and bitch about different things, and it's really fun. So I super recommend it. They have like I think they're on like everything where podcasts are, but I like to watch them. I like to watch a podcast because sometimes I'm playing a game on my main monitor, so I like to have something on my second monitor, so whenever I get kind of not necessarily bored, but sometimes I like to look at something else. So I like having a little podcast moment on the side. That was some good cheese. Nice. Welcome back. We've just been talking kind of about everything, really. I was just talking about some stuff that I've gotten into, like podcasts and YouTube channels and all that stuff. So I don't know what I'll be doing. I guess that's a very long-winded way of me saying like I don't know what I'm gonna be doing after the stream. Like I'm probably gonna have dinner, and then I'll figure out like if I want to play a game on my own now that I'm done with Shining Force 1 and 2. I'm thinking, do I want to get into Shining Force 3? Do I want to get into do I want to play something else entirely? I'm not sure. The end of Shining Force 2 was such a pain in the ass. Let me tell you a story about how I've had to do that final battle. I've had to do a final battle, and those battles take so fucking long, and I had to do it, I'm not even kidding y'all, at least I feel like it was at least 10 times. It probably wasn't that much, but it felt like it. It was probably like, realistically, it was probably like 5 or 6 times. But still, it felt like forever. It felt like forever. And I hated it. And the ending was so cringe. I feel like I'm gonna make a whole video about this because I feel like Shining Force 1, and I guess it's kind of spoilery for whenever I make a video, I guess y'all will know, but Shining Force 1 was like fine. It was like a fine experience. It was funny, it was charming. It was like a nice, you know, beginning to a whole franchise. I mean, it didn't last that long, but still, it was the beginning of a franchise in a way. It was fine, it was fun, it was annoying at parts. There were definitely some things that you could improve upon. The story was kind of bland, whatever. Shining Force 2, a lot of improvements across the board, a lot of quality of life improvements. And then the story, for as good as it was, the ending was rotten. The ending was like, you save the princess, and then, oh no, the princess is like in a coma, and the only way for her to wake up is to one day, like, her cheeks will be, she's gonna be blushing because the poison was gonna leave her body. So after that, the only way for her to wake up is by a kiss from her true lover. Meanwhile, before that, you probably met her like a couple times. The interactions were basic and had nothing of substance or nothing that would justify you being her lover. And then it was just like this weird energy where it was like you went through this whole thing, you saved the world, and then it was almost like, and you get to kiss the princess as a reward. And I hate that. And I hated that with all my heart and soul. I was like, you mean to tell me I went through hell? You mean to tell me I went through hell to beat this final battle? And it's like, oh, you get to be with the princess. And then the whole thing at the end is like, we're gonna choose who gets to kiss her. Like, ew. It was so bad. It was so bad. Like, that whole ending of like them being like, oh, it should be this person, no, it should be that person. It was so weird. It was so weird to have like a weird one-sided like romantic thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're gonna be the next ruler of this country. And like both of them are like teenagers at most. It's weird. It's really weird. It's like, you know, Sleeping Beauty, but it's like as if I've never seen Sleeping Beauty, which is also like that movie. I don't love the premise of that, but I'm at least under the impression that they were really in love with one another, you know, like the prince who kisses her. But like these characters, like, they barely interact throughout the game, so it's very weird. From like the beginning of the game, people kind of drop hints like, oh, the princess is so pretty, oh, the princess, oh my god, I love the princess. It's like this whole thing, and I was like, okay, everyone calm down. Only to realize at the very end that they were planting the seed for the player to be like, oh my god, yeah, she's so pretty. Like, my thing was like, in Shining Force, it's like whenever a character has like a character portrait, you're like, okay, they're a big deal. You know what I mean? And so I was like, is she gonna be a recruitable character? Like, but then I just kind of accepted. I was like, okay, she's the princess, so I guess it makes sense that she would have a character portrait, even if she's not like a playable character or anything like that. Like, she's just an important character. She didn't feel that important. Like, the whole premise is that like the evil guys kidnapped her and you have to save her, but then it's so weird that like you saved her, but then like the bad guy at the very last second like poisons her, and then the only way for her to wake up is with a kiss from her true love. It's weird. It was really odd. I did not like it. Because the whole attitude about it just was weird. Like, oh, who's gonna be like chosen to kiss her? It's like, it was weird. It felt like very pandering to like, oh yeah, all the boys that are gonna play this are gonna be like in love with this princess and they're gonna want to marry her, so she's the perfect reward. And it's like, women are not your fucking trophy and reward. Like, it's weird. I thought the ending for Shining Force 1 was much more interesting. Like, that ending was so much more interesting. I'll talk about it I may make a video. Because here's the thing. Shining Force as a franchise, a lot of you probably don't know about it. And there's probably a reason to it. So I'm very interested in, like, what happened, you know? So I might make a video on each game individually, and then, you know, a series thing. But we'll see. We'll see. I might stream the next Shining Force game that I play. If it's about wealth and power, you'll kiss the king too. I feel like that's different. It's not like it's someone that I don't know, and it's like there's like this whole thing of like who gets to kiss him, you know what I mean? And like, and he has no say in it because he's in a coma. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that whole dynamic to me is just weird. It's like, who's gonna get the prize? Like, it was very weird. Who shot on the floor at my wedding? I've heard about that, Lynn. I've heard about that podcast. I've heard that they don't really come to a specific conclusion, but I heard it's really funny. Because apparently that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently that's like a whole podcast where this couple got married and someone shat on the floor of their wedding, and nobody confessed to it. Like, somebody did it, but nobody confessed to it. And so apparently every episode is them interviewing like a different friend or family member or whatever, and apparently it's really good, but I haven't gotten to it. Is there like a video version of it? Or is it only like audio only? Either way, I don't mind, but I do prefer a video version if possible. Oh, not that. Not someone shitting on the floor at your mother's wedding. Not this. I've never witnessed anything like wild at a wedding. I haven't been to that many. I feel like, how many weddings have I been to? I feel like I've been to at least one. I don't know if I've been to more than one wedding, in fact. No, oh, not me forgetting. I've been to a couple weddings. I've been to like maybe 3 at most. Yeah, but I've never seen anything like wild at a wedding. Like, I've never seen anything like, oh, someone shot on the floor. You know what I mean? Like, I've never really, like, something scandalous even. Which I guess is good. I guess it's a good thing that nothing horrible or, you know, wild happened at a wedding that I've been to. I guess that's a good thing. You're listening on Spotify? Let me add it. I only use Spotify for podcasts because I'm using like a free trial on Tidal right now. So I'm only using Spotify for podcasts because they don't do podcasts on they don't do podcasts on Tidal. Like, they have like their own thing. Oh, this is gonna be great. The first episode is called "A Crime Was Committed." I am so excited. I need to listen to this. I need to listen to this stat. And this all took place like in 2020, like 2020, 2021. That's funny. I feel like I saw something about this on socials, but I have no idea how that even came to fruition. But yeah, I'm gonna need to listen to this. This is probably gonna be my post-stream plan. I'm probably gonna listen to this and do something else. You've been to 5 weddings? Oh my god. So I've been to my brother's wedding, my aunt's wedding, and I feel like there must have been like a third in there, but I have no idea. I've been to a lot of like family type of ceremonies when people do like when people do baptisms, when people do do y'all call it communion? No, that's a different thing. So I don't know I don't know what you call it. I don't know. Let me try to find out. No, it's not communion. The translator is wronging me. It's the ceremony. It's like you go to church school. Is it called the First Holy Communion? Is that what people call it? It is. So it's the First Communion, and then there's another communion. So yeah, okay, so it's a Christian tradition. So you're very young, but a lot of families put their kids through like church school, and then there's like a first communion. Oh, which I guess, oh yeah, it is like a whole thing where like you learn how to get the communion and stuff like that. It's like a whole thing. There's like, I remember like a practice type of situation. So I guess that's when you get your first ever communion. So that's interesting. And then there's like another step to it when you're a little older. Anyway, anytime something like this happens, there would be like a whole family thing. Almost like a wedding in a way. So it's like you would go to the ceremony, and then afterwards, you know, people would like, you know, rent a restaurant or whatever, or like they would do it at home. It was almost like an afterwards party, but like not necessarily for the kids, because like the kids were just like, you know, enjoying the food and whatever, but like, you know, the adults were probably the ones getting crunk. But anyway, yeah. Girl, I'm not Catholic. Me neither. I remember for one of those, because one of them is like, you're probably like 7 or 8 years old, and then for the other, you're probably like a little older, so you're like probably 10, 11, 12 perhaps at the latest. And for some reason my parents forced me to like get that second stage or whatever. Actually, I think my friends just stayed, and I just kind of stayed. I think that was just the thing. Anyway, in either of these stages, I remember there was like a chorus thing and whatever, and I remember the chorus leading dude, or like the teacher, whatever, the person in charge, he was such an asshole. It was like a drill sergeant. It's like, bitch, we're singing about Jesus. Like, it's not that deep. You know what I mean? It's like, it was like the most intense, like, rehearsal, like, type of thing. I kind of lived for, like, it was almost like we were putting on a performance. Like, we were. It was like a chorus thing. We had to memorize music and all this stuff. And everyone had to, like, you know what I mean? But, like, at the same time, it was not, like, it was a lot getting, like, yelled at by this grown-ass man because we were kids and we were, you know, sometimes laughing, or we were, you know, having a good time. Like, I get it. It's like, you know, it's a serious thing, but it doesn't warrant for someone to, like, literally scream at you. Like, we shouldn't, like, this is a church event. We shouldn't be afraid of you. You know what I mean? It's like, we shouldn't be afraid of this dude. Like, we're literally singing songs about, like, love and about Jesus and about, like, you know, all this stuff. And it's like this dude screaming at us to get it right. Like, something here is not adding up. You know what I mean? Like, something here is not connecting. You literally knew 0 Catholics in your life until you met Cerbru, so they'll describe something buck wild they did in church when they were little, and I'm just like, what? Yeah, there was like you're saying that there was like a weird, like, I don't know what the purpose for this was, but it was like some sort of ceremony that I remember we attended, and it was like we either had to wash our feet, or like someone washed our feet, or we washed their feet. It was like, I don't know about her. Like, I don't understand. I don't remember. And I might ask Mama Ruby sometime, like, what was that? Like, what was that for? What was the name of that whole thing? And it was just like, I don't even know. I don't even remember if it was like a grand ceremony, if it was just a thing that we did like at like a random like Thursday night. Like, you know, our parents were there. Sounds culty. Well, that's church to you. It was literally just like this Catholic church. I don't even know, like, and I don't want to look it up because, you know what I mean? I don't want to look up like church feet ceremony. Like, I don't want to look that up. Oh no, I'm talking about all of this shit, and my phone is probably listening to me, so I'm probably gonna get a bunch of shitty TikToks about this whole thing. God damn it. Anyway, I remember this very sweet lady that was like basically our Bible school teacher. She was very sweet until one time I remember I asked her, because for some reason, like, we had the whole Bible in front of us. I guess the Holy Bible. But, like, you know, out of the entirety of the Bible, there were, like, some sections that were, like, we do not talk about her. You know what I mean? So I remember asking, it was, like, I don't know if it was supposed to be, like, the apocalypse. They probably have a different name for it in the Bible. But it was, like, about the end of the world or the ending times or whatever the fuck they call it. And I remember either I asked or someone asked, and she gave us the look of like, if looks could kill. And I remember being like, oh, there's like a dark side to this very sweet lady that we all adore. Like, I saw something in her eyes that I had never seen before. It was almost like, oh no, you will learn about the specific quotes that we want to push particular agendas about And we are certainly not talking about that. And you know what I mean? It was very that energy. And I was like, oh. So I feel like that's when the gears started turning for me. Like, oh, like this is all like, there's like a very particular agenda. And it's like, up until then, I feel like we were pretty open to like ask questions about like anything and kind of discuss things. But I feel like once we went kind of like off script, if you will, it was like, no, we don't talk about that. And it's like, what? Like, it's the same book that we've been using this whole time, but you don't want to talk about this specific section? Like, why? Do you not have an agenda for this? Like, yeah. Religion is very tricky. Not that, Lynn. No, don't ruin my FYP. All the TikTok leaks. Should I see? Let me open TikTok. Let me see if I will get anything even remotely close to this topic. If so, I will die right now, live on camera. Okay, so far so good. I'm getting 17, the K-pop group. Okay, Lizzo. More K-pop. Autistic love languages. Okay. Shut up, TikTok. Leave me alone. Okay, thankfully, it seems like my For You page is still normal. It's safe. It's safe. No. Not this. Lynn, no. Not this. I'm not even gonna read that. I'm not even gonna read that. I don't need my phone to get any ideas. Sometimes it's weird. Like sometimes, does this ever happen to y'all? Like you don't even talk about it. You just think of something. And when you go to like Google it, or when you go to like look it up, or whenever you go to TikTok, it shows up. And you're like, I wasn't even, like I didn't type this anywhere. I didn't speak about this. Like I literally just, sometimes this happens to me where I think of something and I'm like, oh, let me look that up. And it's like the first option. And I'm like, huh. Something about that. Like it's weird. You know what it could be actually? It could actually be that we saw like an ad for it. And then it stays in our subconscious, but we don't remember it came from the ad. And then we look it up. And like all of our devices already know because we've seen the ad for that. Like I wonder if it's that. But I feel like sometimes it's not. I feel like sometimes it's literally just something that I think of out of nowhere. And then it just appears on my TikTok and I'm like, this is fucking weird. Or like, you know, it's like my first thing that I see on Google. Like when I look it up, like when I look up that particular topic, I'm like, huh? Yeah, that genuinely has happened to me too. Yeah, thinking of something, opening TikTok, seeing it and being like, what the fuck? How does this happen? It's weird. But like at least TikTok knows me. I hate that. At least someone gets me. Oh my god. No, sometimes TikTok does not get me. Because sometimes I don't even want to talk about it because I feel like TikTok is gonna listen and it's gonna populate more content about that. But you know, something about a certain YouTuber that somehow managed to like outdo Trisha Paytas as far as like problematic. I've seen so much of that shit on my TikTok. I don't even I don't even care. Like at this point, I'm just like, I'm over it. Like I don't want to see it. I get it. I understand. No. It was a certain female YouTuber that does a character that wears a lot of lipstick. Yeah. Anyway. And has been like weird, racist, and inappropriate, just like a lot of shit that I don't necessarily want to get into, but I saw so much coverage for that on my TikTok, and I would actively click on some of that coverage and be like, and click on not interested, and it still kept populating on my For You page, and I'm like, I'm over it. I don't want to see it. Like we don't need to. Like I do not want to engage. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to see it. I'm like, I'm not a fan of hers anyway. Like I don't need to know this. Legitimately illegal stuff. Yeah. The thing about her too is that I feel like stuff has been slowly flickering into my For You page about like, oh, this is a weird thing. Oh, this is a weird thing. And then all of a sudden, I feel like, you know, since people started coming out about their experiences with this YouTuber, like it was like someone hit the pedal on that, and like shit just started pouring out of like everywhere. So yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Yeah. Right? Sometimes TikTok, I saw your TikTok about like how the TikTok experience is with like you're scrolling and you're like, oh, cute video. Oh, a funny thing. And then it's like, oh, something deeply traumatic, something horrible, something nasty. Like, yeah, that's TikTok can very well be that, for sure. It's like I'll have like 5 different videos that are like, you know, funny K-pop, haha, thirsty K-pop, ooh, and then it's like YouTuber does something horrible, and it's like, oh, like what? Like, and then like I get a sprinkle of like people being like, this is how you grow your Twitch channel, and I'm like, God, I don't even have I have a Twitch channel, but I don't even, you know, I'm not on there actively. Yeah, it's stuff that has been, yeah, stuff that's been kind of slowly but surely coming to the light, I guess. It's wild. It's wild. And recently there was a clip of that person, like someone took a clip from that person's YouTube, and it was like, you know, karma's real. I believe in karma. I believe that whenever you fuck people over, I don't think she said it like that, but it was like, you know, whenever you screw people over, whenever you're mean, whenever you're this and that, like, you know, you might be like, one day you're gonna fall, and when you do, you're gonna see everyone who you ever wronged and all this stuff. And the person was like, this aged horribly. Like, damn. So yeah, anyway, we don't need to talk about it anymore. It's fine. It's totally fine. Well, what have y'all got planned for today? Anything you're gonna be up to? Any fun and juicy plans? We already know Thomas has like a whole week crammed into a day, but what about anyone else? The worst thing is that it's tailored to my specific traumas too. Like, it's not just general awful stuff. It's stuff that specifically happened to me. I do get stuff like that where it's like, you know, things and you're like, oh, I relate to this. Or like, I feel like I've experienced similar stuff. And it's like, how the fuck does TikTok know? Like, you know what I mean? How does TikTok know something that I never talk about? Or, you know what I mean? Or like particular situations about like the minutia of my day-to-day basis or whatever. You know what I mean? It's wild. You're going to the Cheesecake Factory. Ooh, yeah. I actually had cheesecake earlier. It was like store-bought. But it was not bad. I don't like, my thing with cheesecake is that I'm always it's like, it's this weird phenomenon where I forget, you know how, you know, when women like give birth to a child, there's like hormones or whatever that get released so that they kind of forget how painful child labor is, so that in a few months they, you know, forget about all that stuff and are willing to get pregnant again. This has nothing to do with that. It's like, every time I have cheesecake, my expectations for what cheesecake is are like, I've never had cheesecake before. And then I have cheesecake and I'm like, oh, this is nice, but it's not as nice as I thought it was gonna be. And it's almost like I forget that what cheesecake is like, even though I've had cheesecake before. But every time I eat cheesecake, I have this expectation that it's gonna have a specific consistency, it's gonna have a specific taste. And then when I eat it, I'm like, oh, this is what it actually is like. Why did I forget? Like, you know what I mean? Does this literally ever happen to literally anyone? Because it's the weirdest fucking thing. And I feel like it always specifically happens with cheesecake. It's not a bad experience, but I always forget that it's not what I always think it is. Like, I always expect a different consistency, a different flavor, a different everything. And then I get it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is enjoyable, but it's not what I remembered. And why do I keep, like, why does the cheesecake brainwash me into thinking that it's gonna be something that it's not? You know what it is? Actually, I think I've cracked the code on that one. I've had cheesecake flavored ice cream before, where it basically tastes like it's similar enough to cheesecake, but it's not what actual cheesecake is like. So then when I go to get cheesecake, I think of the ice cream, the cheesecake flavored ice cream. I think that's what it is. I think I cracked the code just now as we were speaking about it. It's almost like, you know, when you eat a like banana flavored whatever, and then you eat an actual banana and you're like, this is not the flavor that I was expecting. And it's like, yeah, because the other flavor wasn't real. Like, you know what I mean? You have that effect with popcorn. Every single time I forget how it gets stuck in my teeth, and then I'm like, wow, and then popcorn sounds good. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Every time you eat popcorn, it's lovely when you're eating it, but then afterwards you're like, I hate everything about this. It's stuck everywhere and it's the only thing I can focus on. Why does anyone ever eat popcorn? And then, like, you know, the next day you're like, ooh, popcorn. Very that. Very that. Ooh, Oreo raspberry cheesecake sounds lovely. Actually, you know what? That's true, Thomas. That's true. I guess I wanted to like downplay it, and I wanted to be like, you know, it's not fancy. It's just, you know, but if it was fancy, like, who cares? Like, but it wasn't. Yeah. But yeah, I already told y'all. I'm probably gonna listen to that one podcast that I just added to my library, who shat on the floor at my wedding. I'm gonna listen to that. And I don't know what I'm gonna be doing as I listen to it. So that's gonna be a journey that I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna have to go on that journey, because I think playing 2 Shining Force games back to back was, I mean, it was the move that I wanted to make, but you know, now I'm tired. Because for people who don't know, Shining Force is like a tactical RPG, so those games take a while to get through. I think the first one was like 40 hours, and this one was probably around that. Let me actually check. Over the last 2 weeks, it says 61 hours. That may be a little inflated because I did play other games on stream from that collection. But I feel like at least 50 hours sounds correct. So I played roughly almost 100 hours of like a very similar game, you know what I mean? It's almost as if I played Final Fantasy 1 and 2 back to back. It's like 2 kind of like similar experiences in the same kind of format, in the same kind of like font, if you will, you know what I mean? Still with their own, like, you know, differences, obviously, but yeah. Fancy means expensive, and fancy doesn't mean it's good. That is very true. That is very, very true. Actually, on the I've Had It podcast, they talked about this because it's so fucking true. Whenever, I don't know if this is still a thing, but I think it is. Whenever you would go to like a wedding, or, you know, all of these different things that I talked to y'all about, like a baptism or whatever the fuck, you know, ceremony it is, there's always like a fancy cake. This is especially a thing that takes place in weddings. And the cake is like so elaborate and so whatever, and probably so fucking expensive. And then you take a bite of that motherfucker, and it's the nastiest, like, it's the worst cake you've ever eaten in your life. And I don't know why that's a thing. I don't know why wedding cakes can be pretty and delicious, but no. I don't mind, like, you know, the almost like rubbery like texture of like the sugar coating that, you know, they make all the figures and all the, you know, whatever out of it, but the cake itself is not great. So it's like, why can't we have like the best fucking cake ever, but also it looks pretty? So the thing that apparently some people are doing nowadays is like, they have like the ceremony cake for, like, you know, pictures and whatever, but then they actually have like store-bought cake or like something like delicious that they actually serve to people, so that the cake is actually delightful. And I love that, because there's nothing worse than, like, well, there are a few things that are worse than that, but, you know, weddings are typically, the weddings that I've attended, it's like the food is wonderful, everything is wonderful, dessert is wonderful, and then the cake is such a fucking downer every single time. I feel like nobody has cracked the code on that, and it's like 2023. How come nobody cracked the code on making a delicious wedding cake that's also pretty? And like, have y'all ever watched like the like Cake Boss or like anything like that, where like they're making all these elaborate cakes for events and stuff like that, and have you ever watched those and thought like, I bet that cake tastes nasty because it takes them like days sometimes to make those cakes. Like, you know what I mean? Like to make all of those like elaborate, like, you know, projects. So you're like, oh, that cake is gonna taste nasty. That cake is gonna be filthy. And then it's like, at that point, it's like, why not just like hire an artist to like build like a statue or something, like an art piece for the wedding? Like at that point, it's like, why not just like hire an artist to do that and just like have like regular ass cake? Especially if you're gonna do like a store opening. Like, why the fuck would you have like, you know, a cake that's like shaped like a perfume bottle when it's like nobody's gonna like, you know, cut into it, or like if you're gonna do it, then it's the cake is not gonna be good. So like it's all of that work for like a couple pictures, and like the cake is not great, and everyone's just pretending the cake is good because they, you know, it's expensive and you can tell it's fucking expensive. And it's like, at that point, just like hire a fucking artist to make like a little art piece, so it, you know, you don't fucking eat the art piece. And the art piece tastes nasty. Like, girl, a homemade cake is the move. Also, yes. Don't even get me started on the cake box Jersey Devil thing. The cake was like 95% Rice Krispies fondant and literally wood. My god. My god. Sometimes Mama Ruby would have that on and I'm like, is that edible? And she's like, I mean, surely it must be. Some of it, I'm sure, was not. I'm sure some of it was in fact not edible. But I'm glad we could air out the grievances about like wedding cakes always being horrible. Like truly horrible. Because there must be surely there's a difference between like cake designing and like a baker. Because a baker will get you together. They will get you an amazing fucking cake. But I feel like a cake designer is the one that is like, you know, they're an artist. They're an artist first, and they're a baker, like that. Like that's not even in their top 5. You know what I mean? It's like they just know how to bake a cake that's like structurally sound enough to, you know, build shit on top of it. And none of it is gonna taste good. Anyway, this has been a lovely chit chat, y'all, and I appreciate this. I appreciate just like a random ass stream where we just talk about random ass shit. None of it is productive. None of it is good for probably anything. But I had a lovely time. So there's that. Right. Yeah. Give me cake, not your artwork. I mean, at that point, just like hire an artist. But yes, we've reached that time of the day where I am gonna leave y'all. I do have all of the best intentions of having like a schedule and tell y'all that like I'm gonna stream on this day and that day and that day at this time. But I don't know if I can commit to all of that. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated on my socials. I mostly use like Instagram and Twitter Although Twitter is falling apart, that's a whole other thing. But I am on Instagram, Project Ruby with 2 Y's. So you'll find me if you just, type Project Ruby. I will be there. Yes, Instagram, Twitter. You can find me on Ko-fi. You can also support me monetarily on there if you would like. If not, that's also totally fine. I might do some sort of newsletter type of situation. I've seen a couple people do it, and I'm intrigued. But I don't know if I will do it. If that's something that y'all are interested in, I can get it together and do that. But yes, I'm gonna try to stream a little bit more consistently, because at the moment I don't think I have any ideas for anything else. So I think I'm gonna focus on streaming for a little bit, and then if I start getting tired of streaming, or if I want to do something else on top of streaming, I will probably adjust my streaming schedule to make room for other stuff. So the idea is we're gonna do a long journey to an uncertain end, and I'm probably gonna do a full playthrough of that, and then we can figure it out from there. So yeah, have fun on your day, Thomas. That's exciting. Yeah, see you later, Lynn. Enjoy your nap. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, everyone. And I hope to see you soon whenever I stream next. I don't know when that will be, but it will happen. I promise you. It will happen sometime. I'm thinking, since tomorrow is Monday, either tomorrow, probably Tuesday. I'm thinking Tuesday is gonna happen. All right, y'all. Have a good day, afternoon, evening, whatever it is. Enjoy some lovely food. Sleep a lot. And have a wonderful time.